Now, Ronnie, this Sunday, they're actually going to have the TV movie. It's all done. It's ready to go. Of the Pennsylvania miners story.
That's smart to run that against The Sopranos. It'll do well.
Right. That'll be on Sunday at 9 o'clock, right up against The Sopranos. The Pennsylvania miners story. Now, they're saying if you are in the least bit claustrophobic, you may not want to watch this film. They said it's very realistic about what the miners had to endure during their 77-hour ordeal of being trapped.
The weird thing there, Fez, is... Are you claustrophobic at all?
Yeah, I get claustrophobic. Among everything else, yeah, claustrophobia, throw it right in.
I'm never crazy about the fact of anytime they take your... you'll lose your freedom of whether you can leave now.
Right.
And for that reason, I never we're having our office Christmas party on a boat.
Oh, yeah.
It's not so much being on the boat, but the fact that you can't say for 4 hours, I want to get the F out of here. And I find myself just looking to shore, longingly. Like, oh, look, there it is.
The motherland.
Yeah, and I can't stand being stuck at a party like that. That always annoys me.
You're at their discretion. No longer your choice on when to go home.
Right. And, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I want to go now. Well, you can't.
Right.
You can't leave now. And that makes me want to leave.
Sure. And the people that are enjoying it are just looking crazier and crazier to you.
Roy, you're nodding your head. You're a little claustrophobic?
Oh, yeah. I'm very claustrophobic.
Have you ever been trapped in anything before?
Yeah, when I was about 14, I was over at a friend's house, and they had a crawl space, like, I guess one of those little bomb shelter type things. And it was very, very tight. And I went in there just joking around, like saying, ooh, let me go investigate this thing. Oh. And I'm crawling through it. It was all concrete, completely dark. And there's a little door with a little latch on it. And all I hear is the thing go, and then lock.
Oh,
and I'm sitting in there, and I couldn't turn around because it was so tight. I would have had to back up to get out of it. And I just freaked out, and I started banging on it. But it was concrete, so they couldn't hear me. And, after like 15 minutes, they finally let me out, and I was just, like, sobbing.
Now, do you really think it was 15 minutes, or are you just thinking, it felt 15 minutes?
Yeah. It might have been only a couple minutes.
Yeah, a lot of times it's only a couple minutes, but you would think it was longer. Here's something with me. When I was little, I saw this happen. The older kids threw a kid down the down in the sewer, and shut the lid. And he was screaming, right? And I wished I could help him, but I'm like 5.
Right.
And he wasn't much older, and the kids that did it were like teenagers, right? And he was screaming and scratching like on the top and just flipping out. And the kid that was doing it had such a maniacal laugh. His joy was through the roof like he was the devil himself.
Oh, God.
That and the older brothers took another friend of mine, because we all had older brothers. They rolled him up in a carpet, and there was no way me and my other friend could save him.
Right.
That freaked me out. And then once, even my cousins, they went into an outhouse together, and in the dark, they didn't know how to unlock it, and just started freaking out and screaming. And I remember being like 4 while we were camping.
Oh, that's so we may need the door open in the studio. I think the studio's getting too tight.
I can't breathe either. I think I'm in a carpet right now.
You're not.
I had another one when I was about 16 when I started working in a restaurant, and people locked me into one of those walk-in fridges.
Stop it, man.
And it was really small, and it was cold. The cold didn't bother me. It was just being locked in there, and it was really tight because there was boxes all over the place. And there's no way out of those things either, because you could lock those things with padlocks. And I was freaking. And I think ever since then, I've been claustrophobic.
You know what? I don't mind elevators, but as soon as you get on a packed elevator, then I'm thinking, no, now I'm thinking if we get stuck and there's 18 of us in here, it won't be funny. And I don't know all the people.
I've gotten trapped in 2 elevators. One with a big group of people, where I'm packed up against the back of the wall because there's so many people in it. And that thing just stopped and kind of did the little bounce when it stopped in between floors.
Yeah.
And the lights went out on the numbers.
Stop it.
And then there was a time when Ronnie always warned me about this. We worked in a place one time that was just 2 stories, and I would take the elevator up to the 2nd floor.
Now, I always say this. Don't take the elevator during a show when there's no one else in the building, because we don't have anybody to get you out of there, and we're stuck doing the show without you.
I got trapped in that elevator by myself. That was the time I got trapped by myself. I was stuck in that one.
I've got my story, but I'm afraid to even say it on the radio.
All right, hold on. You know what?
Oh, man.
You are going to say it, my friend.
All right.
Well, if Creek Cole can get naked.
Yeah.
Office Christmas party. I had to be about 19 years old. I was working part-time in the mailroom and had a little too much gin and tonic, whatever.
That don't make you a bad person.
No, not at all. On the contrary, I think it was a great time. It's coming down in the elevator with about 6 or 7 people. Elevators are always hot, as you know.
Yeah.
120 degrees at least. I'm dressed up in a gray suit. We get stuck between the first floor and the second floor. Actually, the ground floor and the next floor up.
Right.
25 minutes standing there with like maybe 7 or 8 other people.
Oh, man.
One was my boss. Everything was going smooth, ringing the bell. All of a sudden, I felt that little cramping feeling that one gets, that little dump sweat feeling, and you're feeling kind of like, where's the bathroom? Where's the bathroom?
No.
I got to hold it in.
How long were you in there?
After about maybe the 20th minute, maybe, I just kind of like felt a little loss of control. And the fact that I was wearing a gray suit didn't really...
Sure.
I was going to wear the brown suit that day. I ended up basically making mud in the elevator right, I would say 2 minutes before we were rescued.
Oh, nice. If you had held out another 120 seconds, heckler.
So everybody knew that you crapped yourself?
There was an engineer and a security guy who was like 100 years old. They actually opened up the door and put their head in. They were trying to get people to kind of like slide down or do whatever. I mean, I was pretty blitzed. I was just on another planet. All I remember is the embarrassment when it actually happened, and I stepped back, and then I don't want to get graphic here.
It's a little late.
Let's just say that I started smelling the casserole cooking, and I prayed to baby Jesus that get me out of this elevator. All of a sudden I heard a little rumbling sound, and the door opened up, and we went down a little low, and I was the last one to leave the elevator.
Oh, so I didn't know.
Well, no, somebody eventually said, somebody's stepping something. They really weren't clueless. Right. Now this is the worst part. I had to go home. I was in Manhattan.
Right.
And I had an hour subway ride back to Brooklyn. How am I going to get on the train?
Yeah.
So what I did was I ducked into this back alley. There was a big dumpster. No, I don't want to finish this story. It's really, let's just say I took my
underwear off.
Yeah. No, I took my pants off, and it was Christmas. It was freezing out. I took my pants off. I took my underpants. Everything was kind of intact. Didn't have any toilet paper handy. I used my socks.
All right, this was supposed to be a trap story.
Yes.
And you've turned it into a soiled yourself story.
I was trapped, and this is just the outcome. And you know something? I got to tell you, looking back, it's funny, but I was traumatized. I had to ride the train.
I'd be afraid to look back.
And Fezzi, I'm on the train, and we're doing really slow. Nighttime, how the subways run. We hit a delay at Canal Street. Sitting there, and I can just feel it.
All right, so the horrible trap story is people that are trapped with you.
Pretty much. I think most of my friends will agree to that it's always an experience.
Brother Joe wants to tell us a trap story. He's on the line. How you doing, Brother Joe?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? For the first and only time that I'd ever been arrested, a jail cell, my friend.
Yeah, jail cell is tough.
A holding cell in a local precinct, 3x5 with a board to sleep on, basically.
Yeah.
That was unreal, because I started getting feelings of like, have you ever seen The Stand? Stephen King movie, The Stand?
Right.
The guy that's trapped in the jail cell and everybody outside. I was thinking, like, if there was ever like some kind of nuclear holocaust and I was the only one left, you start getting these crazy thoughts. You're looking up at the ceiling going, is it sheetrock or is it cement?
Right. And also, normally, once you're in there, you're already whacked. That's why you showed up in jail. So your mind isn't working properly to begin with.
Absolutely, yeah. It was. Well, no, I was straight. I was straight as a pin. It was for other reasons. But the bad went to worse. We ended up going into the transport van that takes you to the courts, where it's a van. It's a standard van with a partition down the middle, and you're chained to 5 stinking guys that were more than likely drunk or drug addicts.
Right.
Just, stacked in half of a van, sitting up with your hands cupped behind your back. That had to have been the worst time I ever felt any kind.
You were on the Con Air plane too, right?
Oh, just awful. I was in the Roundhouse in Philly. I'm the only white guy in there, and there's got to be like 14 of us all together in this tiny little concrete room. No windows or anything. You get the one mirror that they're watching you through, that the guys keep spitting on. And I'm like, what the F? How far have I fallen? And will I ever come back?
Oh, my God. Yeah, I was when I was in the cell, there was these guys next door that was so inebriated, they couldn't speak, and they were screaming all night at the cops. So it was like, you can't even sleep your way through it.
You know what? You know what else is really weird? When you're in jail, you're the only one who you think doesn't belong there. You don't really hook up with anyone because you think they all belong there, but you. All right, thanks, Joe. We'll see you. We'll see you real soon, pal.
All right, boys. We'll see you soon.
Now, Fezzi, when you would sneak into the drive-ins or anything, were you ever the guy that got in the trunk?
No, I was never that guy. You couldn't make me.
I can't do it. I would just say I can't do it.
I'd rather not go.
Yeah.
And we used to do that all the time.
We did too, and one time the only guy that would get in was the guy who drove the car, right? It was his car, so he had to get in while we drove in. It's in the summertime, hot as Vietnam. We get out. He goes, and the guy who was driving, and we were all lit. He comes back, and he's going, which is the trunk key? He was just like 600 keys were on this ring because he was working for the railroad, right?
Oh, God.
And you hear this, just try all of them. Try all of them. He's freaking out in there. Just your best trap stories. And it won't be hard to buckle me and Fez, I don't think, on this.
Not these couple of claustrophobics.
And remember, it's trap stories, not crap stories.
You're welcome.
We're Ron Fez.
Talking about the Pennsylvania miner story, that's going to be a movie on ABC this Sunday. Then started discussing times where we've gotten trapped in our actual lives.
Now, GVAC will be the judge and jury tonight, Fezzi. He is a man who nobody can sit here and say, no, GVAC, you're wrong about that. It's he's the dictator of this.
GVAC, he's an honest man. He's Captain America. He'll do a good job.
Here is Alex. Alex, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Alex.
What's going on? Hello?
Yeah, Alex, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, I was on a plane for about 22 hours because it couldn't land in New York.
God.
It landed in Washington, D.C.
So you're just circling for 22 hours?
No. I guess because I was on a crappy airline, a tower airline, they didn't have the authority to land before, let's say, American or one of the other, big-name airlines. And to top it off, when it was in D.C. waiting to get the authorization to go back into New York, there's like a little part on the plane that keeps it from pulling away from the port, and it broke. So we had to wait for another plane to bring that part in so it can fly into New York.
All right, have you ever been that, like, you're on the runway, and for whatever reason they don't take off?
Yes.
And you look down at your watch, and you've been out there so long that you should have landed in your city by now.
Oh.
You're still sitting, looking at the airport, and then people you'll hear the rumbling start, and then finally somebody will try to make it to the door.
Yeah, eventually somebody snaps.
And
Let me off this effing plane, they're screaming.
And you guys should have seen the scene on that plane when the smokers started thinking, 2 or 3 hours already passed. I have to I have to light something.
Right, that's another
I'm going
problem.
nuts here.
I'm the guy who runs for the door when it's in flight.
Yeah, right.
Ronnie's had to put me back in my seat a couple times.
Well, you're in first place. What do you think of him, GVAC? It's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
22 hours trapped on a plane?
And to top everything off, had I known that airline was owned by an Israeli company or an Israeli group, I would have never gone on that plane to begin with.
All right, your little anti-Semitic thing at the end.
No, not anti-Semitic, but just,
Shouldn't be too hard to unseat Alex. We'll see.
Hold on, Alex.
All right, guys.
Why would you add that?
Everybody blames the Jews for everything.
Here is Jeff. Jeff, you're on Run and Fez.
Hey, what's going on, buddies?
Hey, Jeff, where were you trapped?
Well, it's not necessarily a place, I guess. Back in 95, 96, me and a few buddies went to go see the band Pearl Jam on Randall's Island.
Yeah.
And, of course, before we got into the concert, we were, partying, boozing, sniffing, snorting, whatever.
That don't make you a bad person.
It doesn't. So we got inside, and long story short, we had to make our way to the front, of course, and before you know it, the crowd just started surging, and you can just feel it, like the momentum.
Right.
And you just can't fight it. You kind of got to get jelly legs and go with it.
And before you know it, dude, I got sucked right under, and just all these people were on top of me, and one of the scariest feelings I've ever had in my entire life. And I know it's a cliche.
No, that's awful when you're trapped in a crowd like that.
Dude, I started thinking like the AC/DC concert back when all those kids got. Was that AC/DC?
It was the Who.
Yeah,
the Who. Yeah,
but it also happened with GNR in Europe somewhere.
And it also did happen with Pearl Jam like 2 years ago in
Europe also.
Yeah, like in Amsterdam or something.
You know what was really weird? One time I was on stage looking down at that, so I can totally, and it was at a concert setting. And I'm seeing this whole thing, and it starts moving like one animal, and then I see individual people screaming and gasping for breath, and I had to take the mic and do all right, everyone please move back. Can we all take one step back? And I was like trying to keep myself together because I was freaking for these people. And finally I just screamed out, what if I was in there?
Scariest time of my life. Thanks, guys.
All right, hold on. What do you think, G-Vec?
I think Jeff goes into first place.
You're in first place, Jeff.
Nice,
hold on,
Jeff.
okay?
Nice with your mosh pit story.
Producer Mosh Pit. Producer Mosh Pit. Producer Mosh Pit. Producer Mosh Pit.
There they go. They're all moshing.
Hit him!
Harry Elvis, Billy Hawk, Rory Wonder Boy. There they go. Oh, Billy's got the bulk.
All right.
Nice work, boys. Billy actually pinned 3 of them up against the wall.
I give him credit, though. When there's more of them, Billy can't get up to full heat.
Right.
He's twice their age, and he leveled 3 guys.
The closest I've ever come to a mosh pit is a fat girl pushed me at an Air Supply concert one time. That was about it.
Were you lost in love?
We were at the concession stand.
All right, here is Kevin. Kevin, you're on Run of Fez.
Listen, I'm out in Vegas with some buddies doing a 5-day drink-a-thon.
Nice. That don't make you a bad person.
That's Vegas, baby.
I'm telling you. So 16 hours, we go for this drink-a-thon. We come up with this brain-surging idea at breakfast the next morning. We're going to go out and see the Hoover Dam. So I got to drive out. And before I went out, my doctor put me on this medicine because I was tired all the time. You guys familiar with this, phentermine?
No, I don't know it.
It's like legal speed.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it.
So he says it's like, take one 30-milligram tablet, in the mornings when you wake up, and you won't be so tired. I'm like, all right, I'll give it a shot. So anyway, I take one of these, take the drive out to Hoover Dam. Halfway out there, I'm still dragging. I take another one of these pills. Now we're in the parking lot. Take a third of these pills, and I'm like, man, these freaking things ain't working. What's going on here? This really stinks. I'm half asleep. We're going to see this Hoover Dam. So I take a 4th one, before we get on the elevator. And they inform us that the main elevator that normally holds 60 people is broken. So we have to take the service workers elevator. So they got a big group of us, like 80 of us, and they put us 15 at a time into this little elevator.
I feel like I'm trapped in this phone call.
I know. Finally, now the story's starting.
I'm sorry. Well, the phentermine is the best part of it. Now we get in this little elevator, go down, and there's 15 of us in the elevator. Now we're waiting in this dark, dank hallway, and all you could hear is this water rushing the Colorado River through this entire dam on top of you. It's vibrating, it's shaking, there's water coming through cracks in the walls, and we're waiting. Now we have to wait for all 80 other people to come down.
All right, so you were speeding and you got caught in the elevator at the Hoover Dam. What do you think, G-Vec?
Feel bad for him, but Jeff remains in first place.
All right, sorry, Kev.
Okay.
All right, Jeff stuck in the mosh pit.
I'm telling you, that could have been a great story. You say, hey, I'm speeding, I'm at the Hoover Dam, stuck in the elevator.
Then everyone freaks.
Yeah, and everybody goes, oh, my God, no.
Speed always good.
There was no impending doom to his story.
Right, just,
I remember it was August, because I just had my cat spaded, and my girlfriend's aunt had called me 2 days before, and asked me if I knew where a blender was. So,
all right.
Jared, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Jared.
What's going on, guys?
But
basically, mine is less of a story, more of a situation. You ever under a car and you're changing the oil and you just freak out? Like that 5 seconds you're under there, I got to get out of there. I can't stay under there for a long time.
I know what you mean. I can only stay under this so long. If there's a jack or something, I'm sure it's coming. I can hear it.
Right.
All right, so your thing is one time you had a panic attack for no reason. What do you think of that, G-Vec?
I think you should go to a Jiffy Lube, and we're going to keep Jeff at the Pearl Jam concert.
Yeah, really, it's $25 now.
Get some Xanax.
You're under a car, and you want out from underneath it. You start doing that shoulder shimmy across the ground to get out. It's awful.
Here's Ronnie. Ronnie, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, Ronnie.
Hey, card holder 14345.
Hooah!
Yeah, you ever, like, when you play tackle growing up, and you got tackled, and you had, like, 4 or 5 guys laying on top of you?
I can never stand that.
And they want you to get off, and they're pressing on your chest and on your stomach, can't breathe, and it's like they're taking a nap, and they're not getting off.
Yeah, here's what I hate. You ever see this? When there's a touchdown, the guys start to dive on the guys, and then everybody comes from out of the off the bench, and they all dive, and there's just this huge pile of humans. I'll turn off the TV if I see that.
And the guy's already run back a kickoff, so he's gone the distance of the field. I can't breathe, and he's underneath that pile.
What about when the goalpost comes down? All the people crowd onto the field. It's just...
scary.
Yeah.
And you start panicking, and your voice gets real high, like, get off!
Get off! Get off! Get off me, you whippers!
You mothers!
What do you think?
Yeah, I think everyone kind of had a situation like that. I think, Ronnie, you called it Smear the Queer, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, in my neighborhood, it was Pick Up and Slaughter. Was what
Pick Up and Slaughter?
Pick Up and Slaughter. Funk Man, I'm sorry, bro. We're going to stick with Jeff, though, at the Pearl Jam concert.
No problem. Thanks for the time, guys.
Thanks, G.
Here's Jeff. Jeff, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Jeff.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How's everybody doing?
We're calling the gang.
19563.
Hooah!
This happened about 15 years ago. In the middle of summer at a local amusement park.
What amusement park were you at?
King's Dominion, right outside of Washington.
Oh, I know the place.
Okay, so there used to be a ride called Smurf Mountain.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, it was nice until the ride got stuck in the mountain. The middle of summer, 120 degrees, and this little roller coaster, the Smurf theme for 2 hours, little mechanical Smurfs running back and forth for 2 hours until they got the ride fixed. I never watched another episode of the Smurfs. I tried my best to get out of the seat, but it was the locking roller coaster carts. So there it is.
Does that take you back?
What do you think?
It's horrible.
G-Back?
You know, the 120 degrees is nasty. I am not a fan of the heat myself, and that Smurf theme could be torture enough for everyone, but I guess going for the sheer panic of everything, I'm still sticking with the guy being crushed at a concert.
But you got to remember Gargamel and Osriel were there.
Yeah, I understand.
Oh,
that's scary.
Here's Chris. Chris, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hi, Chris.
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, I was trapped in a casket for like 3 hours one night.
How the hell could that happen?
Oh, please. My friend's father owned a funeral home. So we're all, smoking weed, and everybody's having a good time.
That don't make you a bad person.
No, and then we all go inside, and we're playing around inside, and they go, get in there, and we're daring everybody to get in. I went and climbed in the thing. So they decide they're going to close it off, and I insisted that they couldn't close unless I had a broom handle so I could breathe stuck through the door.
Right.
Yeah, so they decide to pile stuff on top and then go out for beer. So
oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and I'm inside this thing. They shut off the lights in the basement, and as the heat goes on, the building starts creaking. You're hearing all these weird noises. And
all right, Chris, let me guess. You weren't exactly the cool kid in your gang, were you?
None of us were all that cool.
Yeah, I'm guessing. What do you think, G-Vac?
I tell you, being stuck in a casket for 3 hours and being stoned on top of it, I think Chris goes into first place.
I can't believe you're still alive, brother. All right, hold on. Here's, if you want to feel stuck, Fezzy, here we go with Stalker Patty.
Oh, gosh.
Hello, Stalker Patty.
Hi, how you doing?
Oh, we're okay, honey.
Well, my little story was...
Are we speeding up her voice now? Yeah. What are we doing?
Do we have her theme song that we can play from the other night that she sang for us?
The Fievel theme?
Yeah. I can get it, yeah.
Yeah, good. All right, go ahead, Stalker Patty.
Well, I was about 7 or 8. I was only in the 3rd grade, and I'd never been experienced taking an elevator by myself before, and I followed a bunch of kids instead of going straight home from school like I was supposed to.
Hold on. Where was this, the elevator experience? Where did it take place?
It took place when I was in the 3rd grade. I was about 7 or 8.
You were at school?
Yeah, and I was following a bunch of kids home from school. I was supposed to go straight home, and instead I went to the housing projects because they lived there.
Instead of home, you meant to your foster home.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Where was the elevator? In the projects or the school?
In the projects.
Yeah.
Yeah, right across the street from the school. And
I was going to say, how many floors were in this school?
I know. Well, anyway,
You couldn't figure out the numbers.
Well, anyway, I was in the elevator with the kids, and they thought it was funny and fun to run out and let the door close on me, and I didn't understand how to read the symbols on the door and everything.
All right, once again, the cool kid, Fezzi. All right, so you didn't, the symbols you mean by 1, 2, and 3?
No, all I know is that I didn't know the arrows meant, for door open and door closed and stuff. I didn't know that you could press any floor and you could get off. I had no idea. I was too young. And I started screaming and yelling and crying and hitting and banging on the door. All of a
Too
sudden,
young or just too new to this planet?
Probably. But anyway, an adult looked in. After it suddenly stopped and the door came open, and this adult came in who was like a security guard and said, "What are you doing here?" And he says, "I want to get out. I want to get out." So he took me to the ground and he let me out, but I just ran off and took off like a bat out of hell to home.
No.
Like after that, I just came straight home from school.
And Fezzi, the sad part of it is a little kid named Rick took her wig off.
Oh, no. A baby Rick.
Anyway, that's my little story.
That's a good one,
And
Patty.
she's sticking to it.
Did they used to call you Ant Head?
No.
I'm just wondering. Kids can be so cruel.
Yes, when you're new to the earth.
What do you think of this one, G-Vac?
The story explains a lot about Patty. but,
She didn't understand symbols.
sometimes called numerals.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're gonna stick with Chris. Sorry,
All right,
Patty.
nice.
Oh, no problem.
All right, Patty. Do we have her song?
We don't have her singing it. We were pulling it, but
And so we have others singing?
yeah,
Good.
we have the Linda Ronstadt one.
Yeah, well, it's just the same thing. All right, thanks, Patty.
Okay.
And by the way, we're going to take you over to find your dead dad, too.
Oh, okay.
Travis Bickle said he would take you to the cemetery.
In Deans, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right, so bring a shovel.
Right.
Okay,
No, I don't think I'm going to exhume him. But...
no.
I hope there's not an elevator there.
I don't want to exhume him.
Your number system frightens and confuses me.
Really cute.
That's my wig. Please don't. All right, bye, Super Patty.
Okay, bye-bye. Have a good night.
All right, bye-bye.
My dad's never seen me bald. I have to take my wig to the cemetery. What? Was there one win in her entire life?
No.
Is there a day with a win in it?
She has her health.
She's seen her? Seen those feet?
It's the day I got my wig back.
Then the elevator doors closed on my wig.
All right, here's Crazy Eileen. Let's keep the lunacy going. Hi, Crazy Eileen.
Oh, God.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
I got a story, but I don't know if it's going to win.
Okay.
In '95, I was hospitalized for high anxiety.
High anxiety.
Yeah, I like that movie. And
You saw
what
the film
happened
too
was
much?
They wanted to watch. They had to go to sleep at 11:30, and they wanted the TV.
In the Nut Hut?
No. Yeah. And everybody wanted to watch Friday 13th, and the nurse wouldn't let them.
Wait a minute. In the crazy house?
Yeah.
Why would they let insane people watch Friday the 13th?
About a nutty serial killer.
It was a beautiful run place. It wasn't a bad experience. But the thing is, they wanted everybody to go to sleep, so this man got mad, and I joined in, and I called the nurse an idiot. She said, "What'd you call me?" I said, "An idiot." So they have this room called the quiet room, and they put me in. A guy was there before me, and they put me in this quiet room, and they locked the door. There was nothing but a mattress and a big fly flying around, and it was cold.
You think that was real?
What?
Was that a real fly, or you were just saying it?
No, that was a real.
Did they take your hockey mask off you?
And they gave me a tranquilizer, and they said they'd come back for me in an hour. But they made it sound, they said in about an hour.
Did they know that you have no concept of time?
I have a concept of time.
Fortunately, there was a young lady there who had been stuck in an elevator who knew numbers and could tell the time for her.
Is this Eileen, remember me?
Oh, yeah, I was drunk then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can call it drunk. All right, so...
You think I was annoying? Anyway, so they kept me in this cold room with a tranquilizer, and they made it sound like they were never going to come back.
How could they make it sound like?
They said in about an hour, and you could hear them just talking in their offices.
In their orifices?
And my friend came over and
Who was it, Ace Ventura?
and then my friend came over and mouthed through the window, "Don't make a scene or they're going to leave you here."
You can apparently hear plenty in this quiet room.
No, she made no motions to me through the window.
This friend of yours, could only you and the professor at the college see her?
Was it your college roommate, Mrs. Nash?
No.
You got a beautiful mind, honey.
And anyway,
and plus you had the secrets of where the Nazis' tanks were.
Mm-hmm. No, and then actually the whole scene wasn't really that bad to me then.
Sure, that's
But
when
I
you were
had
cutting out Time magazines.
They made the room very cold because it was summer, and they gave you a mattress.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is when you gave the baby a bath.
Yeah, and they gave me a tranquilizer, but they.
Could we give you one now?
They said they would come back, but I thought that they might have forgot about me. And
Right.
there was no way of getting out of that room.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, after
Or
an
that
hour and a half,
jacket.
they let me out, and they made me apologize. And I apologized, and I was very nice to them. And they really had no right to do that. In fact, the more I'm talking about it, I'm thinking of suing. I really am.
You know what? I'd like to lock you in a room with no phone.
Lock me in a room with no phone? I would like to lock me in a room with no phone.
We call to the stand Harvey the Rabbit.
This is costing me a lot of money. But anyway, that was my trapped experience.
Oh, it's
and
great.
The more I think of it,
We're going to
they
send
had
you an
no right to
invisible
do that.
prize.
What? They had no right to do that.
Please.
They didn't have to do that.
You know what? Write them a letter and see if they don't come and pick you up again.
Well, actually, they didn't want to take me into that hospital. They said I wasn't crazy enough. It was only for high anxiety.
High anxiety.
I wanted to go. They wouldn't let me in.
Oh, please.
It took me
All the place in your mind.
because I had very high anxiety, and
high anxiety.
And the best doctor in New York worked there.
Mm-hmm.
I knew about him.
You know him, right, Fezzi? Dr. Venable Bubs? That's my doctor.
Dr. Venable Bubs. Hey, how you doing? Hey.
Well, what is actually wrong with you? What was wrong with you then?
It was just, I had extremely high anxiety.
High anxiety!
And nothing serious.
No, nothing serious.
But I wanted to go so badly because somebody I knew went there. And
John Nash?
No, and they said it was very good. But
what was wrong with you anyway?
I just told you.
What was it? I didn't hear.
It was high anxiety.
High anxiety!
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but they trapped me there for like about an hour. And
well, why would they even put you there?
Because I called the nurse an idiot.
I mean, why did you go in the hospital in the first place?
Because of high anxiety.
High anxiety!
I know. But they finally, it was a good thing I went there because it all worked out. Because I don't no longer.
Now you're perfect.
Yeah, now I don't have high anxiety.
High anxiety!
Yeah, I promise I never call.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So that was it.
What was it?
So that's the story.
But what did the doctor? Why would the doctor even bring you there?
No, I brought myself there.
Why did you even go there? What was wrong with you?
You don't. For depression and I had panic symptoms.
How would you know that? What was it called?
It was called.
What was wrong with you?
I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink. I had this choking sensation.
What's that called when you get that?
When you have all those symptoms.
When you have all those symptoms, what would you call that?
Lunacy.
What did they? But what did they diagnose it as?
Well, they said it was obsessive compulsive. They said it was just a fixation of high anxiety.
High anxiety! All right, Nutsy, we got to go, honey.
So, do I win?
No.
I don't even know what a DVD is, so I don't care.
You go in a quiet room, we all win.
Can I have a gift certificate for the Puspatuck smoke shop? That's what I really want.
Do we have one for...
Sure.
All right, we're going to give you...
Really?
Yes.
I don't care about this DVD. I don't even
All right, well,
I don't even know what it means.
All right, hold on.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, hold on and make that gift certificate out to Captain Insano.
All right, and you smoke, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
sure. It's
All right.
Spatuck Smoke Shop. You can check them out online at
No, I did it.
nativeone.com.
Oh, but what is the gift certificate for free?
Yes, it's for free. But what? First, we just need to write this down. Your first name is Eileen, right?
Yeah, but don't put it on the air.
No, I won't. And what were you suffering from?
High anxiety.
High anxiety! We're the Ron and Fez Show.